is today's live on Equa Television International. We're so glad that you could join us on today's edition of the program. A lot of people are saying, oh, wow, it's 2024. I'm happy I'm here. I will navigate this year. I will be successful. But a quick question to you out there. What are your goals and what are even the strategies that you have actually put in place to help you achieve that goal or that vision or that mission that you have set for the year? Is it about feelings or it's about commitment? Today we are going to be looking at what I can do differently to actually be successful this 2024 and even beyond. My name is Joyce Jakada. I'm not doing this alone. Yours sincerely, Engineer Tony Jane Akali is right here. Good morning.
I'm happy to be here.
Sambu Solomon, Prudence Burger, looking all colorful. Good morning.
Morning.
It's 2024, and we're glad that we're here. The year is upon us. We're upon the year. The 2023, when the year was rounding up, a lot of people were hopeful that, yeah, this year, 2023 will end good and we'll start 2024 also good. And some people were more like waiting that, okay, I'll start all over again, but let me see 1st of January. So it's 2024. I'll be successful. I'll be this. I'll be that. And these are things you hear year in, year out. I'll do this before the end of the year. I'll be that. And another year will come again, the same story all over again. What can people do differently to achieve success, to attain their goals and all of that?
Unlearn that resolution philosophy. You have to unlearn that resolution philosophy every year. You know, people say, you see, last year I did this year, but you will still end up doing the same thing because I've never seen anybody that resolution has worked for. You know, people just say things because it's a new year. So let's say what fits the year. You know, not really minding whether they can live up to what they are saying or not. Let's just say what fits the year. But you see, if you want to make remarkable efforts, it doesn't start with the year. It starts with you. I think it was Solo that was saying that yesterday on the show. It starts with you. What were you doing differently what were you doing that you need to start doing differently? What were you not doing that you need to start doing? And I think it was yesterday that I said you have to look at the things you did that gave you negative results the year before, and you avoid them. And you need to grow that smallest part of you, because that's the devil within. You need to cut it off and grow the positive side. And then just make sure that if you had people in your life that were dragging your progress, you don't cut them off, you just stay away. Because there are a lot to learn. There are so many things to learn from people that are even negative in your life. Cutting them away means you are depriving yourself of the opportunity of schooling yourself about being negative. You know, when you know the things that are negative, and when these people bring these things, you need to know how to avoid them so that you can have a positive impact in everything that you do.
That's a powerful one.
Well, from what he said, you just basically just start dealing with some people at arm's length. But then again, what would you do differently? What exactly would you do differently? That question actually depends on the person. What have I done and how was I doing it? And if it doesn't make any sense, then I should be able to adjust it and do it differently. But if it was making sense and it was working out, there's no need for me to change the way I've been doing it. So basically, it's about me this time around. What have I been doing and
What you
how
can
have I been
improve
doing
on what
it?
you
Yes.
were doing.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement. You can't just stay and be doing something the same way and then expect a different result at the end of the day. No, you have to do it. You have to be diligent to growth. So if you were already doing something the right way, you need to grow in that right way. If not, you just become stagnant and it doesn't make sense anymore. So basically, that's what it is. For you to do anything different is that you have understood where you're standing and what you need to do. Because if you have no understanding of where you're standing, then you would have nothing to offer. You have nothing to do at the end of the day. So it all boils down to you as a person. Like, what have you thought about? What is your purpose in life? What have you decided in your heart to do? Because if you've not even gone the extra mile to make a decision, then whatever you're saying would be different. Or you claim all the claiming that everybody does. Oh, this year is going to be awesome for me. This year is going to be a blessing. And you're not putting in no effort. There's no decision to make an effort. And there's no effort being put in, then you would not get any good result, tangible result.
Well, I look at it this way. What can I do differently this year or this day? Because for me, I have grown to not to see the year like 365 days. Like I want to be deliberate about every day, seeing it as my new year, and then the day, I am to put positivity into it, so that by the time you gather all these one days and you put them together into 365 days, then you'll be rest assured that you are going to see 365 days of positivity being coming together. We have to be deliberate every day. For me, I would say, what are those things? It starts with reflection. Sit down, reflect. What are those things that I took them for granted? Check those days that I took them for granted. I see them as, okay, I have all the 24 hours to play around with. And at the end of the day, it became a wasteful 24 hours because there was no any positivity put into those hours, put into those days being wasted. So now, reflecting, now we give you an idea, okay, yes, okay, you've gotten this wrong. You didn't do this right. This approach was wrong. This strategy was not good enough. And then, okay, now, learning from those things, now you tell yourself, okay, this is how I'm going to do, or this is how I'm going to approach these things this year differently in order to see a positive result. It starts with you reflecting, sitting down, checking what are those things that you got them wrong.
Unfortunately, Sambo Solomon, a lot of people don't even make decisions like owing to commitments. It's always about feelings. Oh, it's a new year, so let me enter with some sober look and expression and all of that. You're not even looking within. You see, it was T.D. Jakes that said, it is not the movement of the clock that determines the newness of life, but the movement in your mind. And that is where the real battleground is. A lot of people just allow life happens to them. It was yesterday that Engineer Tony said, see, life does not care about you. So whether you live or you die, it moves. You get.
Yes.
So for some people, it's like they just wait for life to happen. And no wonder somebody will just wake up and is heading to work and he say, we don't know what the day has for us. Like you don't have any deliberate plan. Your mindset is just tied towards let life just happen to me. And life does not even care. You allow disappointment, you allow bad breaks, you allow challenges to define, to shape your life. And that is why you keep going year in, year out. And then you just look at your life. You just reminisce from January to December. What have I achieved? Nothing. Why? Because you allowed life to happen to you. There are people that don't even believe they can do something differently. And because, do you not know that there are people out there that the things that people say about them, like it breaks them. It shapes who they are. Like they allow it determine which path they should take, unfortunately. But you have to think, you have to be deliberate about making the decision that, see, this year I'm going to be committed. Your dream is in you. Like I always say, see, there's greatness in you. It's left for you to just explore your potential. Do things differently. What decision have you taken before that kept you stagnated? And then what can you do differently that will make you achieve results. People are saying, okay, so what will I do? There are a lot of things that you can do.
You see, people need to know this, and it's very important. It's simple. If you wake up and you are moody, you can be moody all day, but it doesn't stop the sun from shining. It doesn't stop the rain from falling.
It doesn't stop dollar from going up. It doesn't stop dollar from going up.
Or making naira to drop.
You understand? So we just have to see life from that angle. It's just that you talked about the issue of emotions. Sometimes we are just being buried into our emotions, and we allow our emotions to take decisions, critical decisions for ourselves, not knowing that the emotions are attached to that tiny person in you that is telling you otherwise. And before you know it, the tiny person is robbing you of the time that you are supposed to put, to see positivity in the day, to see positivity in the week, and to even see positivity in the month and even the year. So it's a process, and we have to understand that and then key into it. The problem is that, for quite some time, we are being choked. Let me put it that way. We are being choked with half information. We are being fed with half-baked bread, something like that. Like you're growing up and then you see things and then you just assume they will just fall in place. Not really following the nitty-gritty of life, the process of life, what you need to do, how you need to go about those things. So you find out that for some of us, growing up, like you are just trying things by error, and then along the way, then you are lucky, maybe because God is seeing your heart. He know that you are just innocent, and then you are just trying your own best, and then based on those errors, and then you are just getting some things right, and then you are along the way, he's like, okay, this guy need help, this lady need help, and then he's bringing people close to you to even guide you and to open your eyes to see the bigger picture of even what we are going. Like yesterday when you said that point, awakening, the cutting off that smaller, it hits me from the beginning of the show. And if you notice, I was quiet because it took me back 35 years. That yesterday, I was just reflecting so many things that I would have gotten it right then. But it's now that with the blessings of people, I mean good people around me, that I'm seeing things differently, and I'm saying, I know these things before now. It could have been better. But God allowed it to happen so that what you said yesterday, like some people, you need to just allow them to be around so that some things you will not allow them to come your path. You will dodge them. Some of us is because of our experience. Possibly that's the reason why we are here, to say some part of our experience, life experience, so that someone can just try and avoid. You see, if you are working with people that are not visionary, people that don't have big dreams, people that are myopic, people that take life as it comes. These are people that you just put them at arm's length, like my sister said earlier. Just put them at arm's length, and then look at people that have bigger dreams, people that see that doesn't see impossibilities in things, people that believe, once you have that dream and you push it, there's every possibility things will work. You follow them and you hold them. You understand? But you see, when you begin to narrow yourself and begin to work with a cycle of people that don't see things like life should just come, after all, call me the Galani. You understand? They use all those kind of statement and then just make you to be where you are. I think these are people that he say you should just and you see, even the fools that you talked about, I think sometimes if someone is around you and he's behaving and he said already, I've agreed that I'm a fool. To me, me personal, I say you can even help him
Which is foolishness.
to be fuller.
To be foolish.
Foolish.
Why? I've
understand?
always,
So that you
Actually,
keep learning and keep
I
judging certain things.
You know?
I always thought people would have learned from one thing the scripture will say and go another place and say something to counter the first one. If you follow the Bible like that, you never know. But the Bible is written for us to understand that those who wrote everything inscribed in the Bible, they saw the future and they wrote it in the past. Yes, sir. The Bible is a prophetic book.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back to the scripture that says, I wish that thou mayest prosper and be in good health as your soul prospereth. That the Bible is saying that God is wishing that you prosper and be in good health as your soul prospereth. Another scripture about prosperity says, believe in the prophets and you'll be what? You will prosper. But believe in the word, you'll be established. That's another thing, right? But why would the same Bible talk about prosperity and come back and say the poor you will always have with you?
Choice.
It's the decision of, yesterday I said it, it's your decision to be poor. If you have 2 million naira in your account right now, you made a decision before the money came, and that was what brought the money. Even if it was stolen, you decided to steal the money and you successfully stole it. So, here is the Bible praying and wishing that you prosper. And here is the Bible saying that the poor you will always have with you. So where will you stand? It sounds like a contradiction in terms. But your riches are not in heaven. They're in your mind. Because a lot of people, you see people praying for prosperity. How can you pray for prosperity? When Paul was addressing the Thessalonians, what did he say? He said, walk with your hands so that you will win the respect of us. And walk with your hands and you win the respect of outsiders. People that don't have jobs are not respected. It's scriptural. When anybody stands in the way of your work, fight it. I'm telling you. Because that person is pushing you to a vicinity where you will not be respected. People are respected. See, if you like, get somebody that is always talking to you. He has good words. His words are connected perfectly. He has everything. But at the end, you are driving a very good car home and he's stopping a bike to take him home. Before long, you stop listening to such person. Why? Because what he's saying is not working for him. Yes.
Like people that sell motivational books, 100
Yes.
ways to be rich, and the person is always at the park.
Do you understand what you read the book and stop selling the book? Read the book and see how you can be rich and stop selling the book to someone who should be rich. Why don't you want to be rich? Sir, when we're talking about what you can do differently, we're not just talking about money. It's all encompassing. This topic is all encompassing. If you have a business, what was your profit margin? Is that a threshold? No, it's not. There's room for improvement. If you have a love relationship with a brother or a sister, or and you are not even married yet, or you are planning to be married, but you're in a love relationship, what were you doing differently that seemed to get the relationship stuck? If you are married, what are you doing differently? And this is both ways. It's not for the two of you. No. It's for each one of you to sit down and think. As a guy, what am I doing to my girlfriend? As a girlfriend, what am I doing to my guy friend? As a wife, what am I doing to my husband? What is my husband? As a husband, what am I doing to my wife? As a pastor, what am I doing to my congregation? As a congregation, what am I doing to my pastor? As a mechanic, how am I treating my customer? As a customer, am I paying my mechanic well? You see, everything, this topic touches every facet of life. There's none that is missing in this topic. Because if you are saying, how do I do things differently? Okay, how much are you spending to work every day? 1,000. Okay, things are getting tougher. Your salary refuses to grow. What can you do differently? Okay, I think I can slap it down this way. By slapping it down, I mean I can walk it down. I can walk it down this way, and I can have 100 reduced, and I can slap it down this way, have 100 reduced. So I'm left with 800 in terms of paying the cab fare. And there are people in your area who work in the same place with you, but they are mobile. So they are mobile. You can use their vehicle as a means of lift to get to work. We know a lot of people at work. Are you leaving now? Okay, can I join you? But you know what? People are not innovative in their thinking. I've told you before on this show that anywhere I am made angry, I avoid it. I said it on this show. Yes, if I notice that I work with you, but you are always making me angry, or I'm related to you, but you're always making me angry, but or I'm friends with the three of you, but Prudence is always making me angry. Anywhere you guys are standing, I come say hi and I move. When I don't see her, I stay. Anybody that angers me, I avoid the person. It's me. It's how I get things treated. Because if I address it, in most cases, it doesn't turn out to be good. So I prefer to avoid the scenario than to be there. What can you do differently? As a broadcaster, what can you do differently? As a GM, what can you do differently? As a father, what can you do differently? As a mother, what can you do differently? As a leader, as a governor, as a president, as a senator, as a representative, as a chairman, as an elder in church, as whatever it is you do, what can you do differently? Nothing has to change but you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to take a cue from what he said about anybody that's making him angry.
You are permitted.
He putting the distance between you and that person. It's key and important that you are not emotionally driven to make decisions. Because if you let yourself make decisions in the heat of your emotion, whether be it good or bad, you might end up making the wrong decision. See, for instance, Moses did not get to see the promised land because he made a decision in the heat of his emotions. He was angry at them, and then he decided to do something that God did not instruct him to do. And at the end of the day, he could not work. He could not go in. Okay, David's son was in the heat of his desire, but then again, it's still emotions. So he made the decision to sleep with to have an extramarital affair with his citizen, and it cost him a lot. It cost David a lot. Although yes, at the end of the day, he did come back on track. But then you see that a lot of times people make the wrong decisions when you are driven by emotions, and it is really very true even in our day to day. It is key, and I've learned over time that if you make decisions, if you behave certain ways because of your emotion, or you react because of what you're feeling at the moment, at the end of the day you might just regret it. And so for this year, try as much as possible not to make decisions on emotions.
It's not as easy as it is said. The Bible talks about temptations that you are beyond, right? But it's not easy, because as spiritual as you are, that's why everybody is still, and this point is vital for people to note, that as you grow, you are making efforts for your decisions to grow as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you can decide, this is what I want to do every morning. But when you grow bigger and wiser, you see reasons why things should be done differently. And you start giving a different approach to same situation that you were giving a different approach to and was working. But there are times you get to a level of growth that you see how to do things differently. It's very important, it's vital for us to always think that, look, I know that I was misled by my thoughts and I did this, I did that, I said this, I said that. But the interest of God is not the falling, but is your decision about your rising.
True.
That's the interest of God, because if you check the history of all the people without Jesus, of all the people that are in the Bible, tell me one who lived perfect. No, including all the people that wrote the epistles, the longest ones and all of that. Tell me one. It's today's world that people expect that you have to be perfect. And what do I always say about today on today's life? I say, look, I don't work on being perfect. I work on being a better Christian. You that want to be perfect, it's fine. I wish you all the best in your perfection journey. But me, I don't think of that because I know I can't. I will never be. So I work towards being a better Christian. Criticize me about things if you are informed that are negative about me. That's your business. While you are criticizing me, I am putting efforts to be a better person at that. But that's an information you are not exposed to.
I know exactly why a lot of people fail. When your gaze and expectation is to be a perfect person, like you just want to wake up being a perfect person, you struggle. Like you struggle and keep struggling.
Joyce,
But
why,
you're determined
why,
to be a
Interesting.
better person.
why is technology coming out to make things that will be perfect for us, like AI? Is because in the whole research of scientists and philosophers and everything, they notice that man can never be perfect. In fact, the Bible says only Jesus walked this earth perfect. So why are we? I'm not. This is not to discourage any person who tries to be perfect in their dealings or in their lives. It's not to discourage you. You can go ahead being that, but just know that when you get it wrong, it still means to becoming perfect.
You know,
So
I
you
know
don't get discouraged.
it's
on the
actually
right
a bid to
path.
become the perfect person that a lot of people develop pride and arrogance. Like you just feel that you know it all. You just feel that you're up and above correction. You just feel that if it is not my way, then it can never be it. Because you think you have attained a particular height that nobody else can tell you. In fact, I remember there was a day that we visited a man of God. Like he was a pastor in a friend's church. It was his birthday, and she
You
said,
are
"Come."
men of God.
It was my friend's pastor, and
Is
she
it the one
said,
that said you have accident?
no. She just said it's his birthday and she would like us to accompany him to. She wanted to present a birthday gift. And when we got there and we were praying, I said, "Oh, don't pray. That we are not there to pray for him. He's the one that will pray." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I like, okay, it's time to take a bow.
No, people believe things differently. Joyce, people believe things differently. Like such principles. Is it not natural to cough? Why are you looking? I coughed again. Okay. Let me let you know how I look at things. I don't think that the lesser can or let me rephrase it. I am your leader, right? I can only bless you, but I can't sow a seed because I don't want to be where you are. I look up to a bigger leader and sow there, because that's the kind of harvest I want to have. You are a follower. You sow to your leader to get to that harvest. Me, I will sow to a bigger leader to get to that harvest. So if we keep going, that is how we can keep going higher and higher and higher and higher. But if we start thinking of there are people that can and cannot pray for us. Anyway, the topic for today on today's life.
What can I do differently? Okay, let me look at work, life, like being a better version of yourself. Personally, when you ask me, it's like somebody was asking what are your resolutions.
If I interrupt you, will you remember your question? Something just came to my mind. Okay, maybe you should ask yours. Then I'll come and ask mine, because I want to ask all of you. So ask yours.
It's not the question. Somebody asked me, what are your New Year resolutions? And I was like, so what do you want? I should start listing word for you now like this. I said, see, I just want to be a higher, a better.
Okay, so you have a resolution.
No, like every day. Like this is my desire every day. No, and I see every day as
so
an
why are you answering
opportunity.
it for a New Year's resolution?
No, I'm not answering it as a New Year resolution, but I told the person that every day I desire to be a higher and a better, let me birth a higher and a better expression of myself. Like that's just what I desire. I desire to be a better version of myself daily, and that any day I wake up is a new day for me. And so what can I do differently? How can I add up to being a better version of myself? And at the end of the day, sometimes I just look back from morning till this evening, what have I done? And then where did I get it wrong? And how can I not repeat what I did yesterday? And that is just life for me. And I will always see every day as a blessing from God. He has not given up on me. It's morning. Oh, thank you, God. What can I do today? What can I do differently? And that's how we should approach life. When you walk, for example, like I said, far up beyond resolutions and emotions is commitment. People have opened up businesses and they keep struggling. You see how people, in fact, invest a lot of money to certain businesses, and yet they are not, like, no sales, no patronage, and they close up. They still start up another business again, no patronage, and they start up again. When you check, how did you even come up with this business?
Nothing was put into such businesses except money.
So you see, some people think it's all about the money.
Yes.
And that's why you keep opening and packing up.
Haven't you seen people that their son will just graduate from school and they'll just pack millions and say, "Top, we have released you. Go and start a business." And then he start asking his friend that is making shoe and is prospering and this one, and you don't have an experience, and then you move. Like when parents call me to say, "Top, my son has finished school. Can you help them get this or that?" I say, your son that has finished school is not a child. He's an adult. As a matter of fact, they say he has finished serving or she has finished serving. Please, is there a space? I say, somebody that has served. The parents are still looking. At what point would that person be independent? Sir, from your 300 level in the university, you should start making plans for what you will do when you graduate. Not after you graduate, you show us certificate of NYSC and you are like, we are available if you have a bond. No, you will fail because you have already planned to fail. From that 300, you are thinking, well, I have 2 years more or 3 years more. No. That's when you start planning. You start pitching your ideas. I want to work at CBN. Okay, what will I package that will blow their mind when I sit before a panel? There are people that cannot be done without. You see, Joyce, you grow into things. You don't happen to things suddenly. You don't happen to things suddenly. You grow into things. Even God will not allow that principle to work. You see, how can your father that grew into hundreds of millions just think that it's possible for you without learning a trade, without having any prior business knowledge or anything, just give you 10 million and think that you will It doesn't work that way.
A story was told of an accountant that came with a certificate, applied for a job, and the person was employed. Every day, the papers is full of cancellations, stipends. This is even unethical. You get, and you keep wondering, oh, why is it that they don't give me work? Why is it that I'm not promoted? Why is it I'm not doing better? Why is that? Let me just give an example of a student, for example. You write exams, you fail. You got into school, decided to make friends with people that don't care about studying. You're always about partying, clubbing, and all of that. You go, you write exams, and then you don't even know what to write, and then you just close your paper, or you write, please lecturer help me, it's my mother in the village that is paying school fees. You close it, you will fail. The next year you do the same thing, you fail. What can you do differently? There's something you need to do. The people that pass and keep moving ahead, there's something they are doing. What can you do differently? It means I should create time. I should be able to study. I should go into the exam hall, answer correctly, and then move to the next level. But sometimes you keep blaming, village people. I know that it's one of my uncle in the village that is making things not work for me. You're doing business, there's no value. You're not giving value.
Name?
You said?
What's the name of the uncle?
They don't. It's one uncle. Well, some
him-
people
him-
even point hand. Some point hand.
That particular person, where is he coming from?
They'll tell you it's village people.
No, he's
Eh,
coming
if-
from a village.
But
You understand?
Solo, come to think of it.
Yes.
If the village uncle worked hard to get to that level
of making you.
not to succeed, why won't you also work hard in your own trade? The man is working tirelessly to make his own trade unique, and he's grown in his own trade. But this is the question that I wanted to ask, and I'm throwing it to all of you. In no particular order, you can answer this question.
This feels like interview.
Of all the people you know, or let's put a threshold to this. Let's say out of 10% of the people, young people that we have, let's bring it down to people our ages. How many of them do you think, between, on the scale of 1 to 10, or let's say 100%, let's go with 100%, how many of them do you think they make deliberate effort to plan their lives, to see how their plans will help them in executing who they want to become? And how many, on the other hand, do you think they just sit down and wait for things to happen to them?
Said those we know. Or
No,
just
generally.
Okay.
Wow. If generally,
Because if you
I'll
say,
go with
if
an
you say
80
for
of those
those
that are just waiting for things to happen. And
Okay.
20 those that really do consider and plan out their lives.
and work to execute their plans, okay, Joyce?
I think for me, I would do 70-30. 30% of young people, like at early stage, plan their life and have deliberate strategies to execute the plans, not waiting for life to happen to them. And then about 70% just wait
Just-
for life
Well,
to happen.
the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. 70, 80.
Well, me, I would say 90. 90% just wait and just
Wow.
expect things to happen.
Mm.
10% like really plan.
Are you
and then-
related to a one-time
Yeah.
president?
and being deliberate about it.
That's a one-time president.
Let me tell you what I feel. I feel it's 97% who wait for things to happen to them, and 3% actually sit down to plan. Because I always think I interact with people. See, knowing who you want to become is not a plan,
It's not.
it's an idea.
A lot of people have that in their head. Very beautiful.
Do you understand?
plans.
It's not that's not a plan, it's
Zero
an idea.
execution.
It's an idea.
Most of us are actually living with ideas. not-
Do you know that it has even become a meme now? That had things gone right, I'm just paraphrasing, had things gone right, by now would have been a pilot.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Because it was an idea, I had the idea or the dream of becoming a pilot.
And let me just interestingly,
Let
no,
me-
no, not
shock
shock you.
me,
I will not
shock
shock you because I know you're well informed and aware. When they now see those that refer to as the 3% being deliberate about being not allowing life happen to them. They make also another meme or joke of them. For example,
True.
at primary school, I want to be a pilot. At the university, I want
True.
to become a lawyer.
True.
And after graduation, cake by Pelumi.
Joyce, let me tell you something. I would rather sit down and plan to be a doctor and work hard at achieving and end up not being a doctor. I'll be more fulfilled
Yeah.
than to plan and to sit down and say, I'm planning to be a doctor, but not work towards my plan and turn out to be a mechanic. No matter the millions I make, I'll not be fulfilled. Now, I have lived in places where you say you want to be this is possible. You can change to want to be that, and it's possible. You can change to, you can just switch lanes like every now and then, and it still works. So I went to Abuja at an early stage of its development level. And I've seen people who went into property business, whether it is land, whether it is house, whether it is this. I kept telling people, this is my focus. I kept saying it to myself. You sit down with friends and you are gisting. You just hear, Kai, Anna Sam Kudia Police Commission in Nafa. Like, they're making money from police commission. What are they doing? Just go and register with 50,000. They will give you this thing. You will share it. At the end of the month, they will give you 50,000 for everybody. Then they can give you 5,000 for. If you look at it, you are amazed. It's just an example. It's not like it happened in police commission before. The people that always invite.
Come and explain.
Or people that always invite me. You see, I would just hear it. I'll be like, wow, that's great. Even when I was pushing my car to start it, I hear such opportunities. I held on to what I believe. Now things are working out like I live in a gym. But I'm just saying this to encourage someone. The 3% that I'm talking about, out of the 97%, there are people who had plans too. But the plans were all they had. How can a plan be all you have? Prudence. You are sitting down here. I'm planning to go and drink water, but you are still here. You are coughing. You have a plan.
Sure.
Yeah, not doing anything.
Effort makes you go and get the water. Now there's water right in front of you. There's coffee. I don't know what's in your mug, but I have my own. You don't know what's in it. I've been sipping it. If I just sit there and say, enter, enter, I command you in the name of Jesus. No, it's an effort. Pick the cup, sip the drink, drop it back. That is what is missing. Do you know that people live wherever they are to Abuja? They live wherever they are to Lagos. They live wherever they are to Port Harcourt. They live where they are to Asaba. These are money-making states. Kano, all these places, they want to go and settle there. Okay, so Gombe, yes, that's true. No, it's at the top of the list. So don't. So when you get there, straighten your head, Joyce. When you get there, that's when you start thinking, oh God, we have come, oh. Don't shame your children, oh. God is like, I'm aware you went, but I'm not doing jack about your situation, because all you need about life and godliness I've given to you. Honestly, sir, a lot of people think when we say there's nothing for God to do in your life, they think it's heresy. But everything, the power is in your hands. A preacher said God is in his Sabbath right now. And I believe wholeheartedly. Sir, the richest people on this earth, they don't call the name of God. They don't even believe he exists. But God has already been merciful to them because he set a principle
for that
about sowing and reaping. If you sow, you must reap. It may not be a good reaping, but you must reap.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you will reap definitely more than what you have sown. It's a principle. But you see, Joyce, when people wake up and say, things are happening in Abuja, See, Prudence that stopped working in Jos in Ekwa TV. She's gone to Abuja. See how she's making it. Do you know what she sat and said before she tendered the resignation? Do you know what she sat and decided? It's not even where you should go and work that should be the what is taking you to Abuja. No, it's what you want to go and do, what you want to become is the first thing. Then when you get there, you can look for anything.
And
While you plan to get there.
that's an area that a lot of people fail in. Like, you just think that when I relocate to this place, I will just blow. Like, that's the language
No,
of
no,
when
everybody would have been. There will be
I
nobody
will
in your
just-
state now.
Yeah.
Because it will cost you nothing but transport and effort. Because the effort is going to the park. Then the whole transport is to take you to that Abuja or wherever you are taking. Joyce, let me tell you why I said 97%. And I want you to, immediately you leave this set, go and think. The people that are around you in the place where you work, start with them. Use 100% yardstick to measure it, right? Then you think, how many people really make plans? Then you will understand why I said 97. And then you go to, like, where you socialize, you meet your friends. When they talk, just from what they say, you know that this is what they plan. There are people that are at work, but there is a particular friend, when they call you, you leave whatever you are doing at work to just go and see them briefly. You don't have a plan. Your plan in the first place was to never be like intentional about work. You just came, and once you hear, I know staff who friends will come and they will call and they will look for a corner. Maybe the staff, the friend has a car, or he or she has a car, and when they come, they park somewhere and they sit in the car and just during working hours. There's something that I have designed and I want to start talking to young people about. There are two things: it's your job and your career. Your job and your career. When you work hard at your job, sir, you'll be at the end of let me not finish, let me not say, but work more on your career than you work on your job. I've designed the template. I want to start like teaching all these privileges that we have to go and talk to young people and all of that. I want to start talking to them about career and job. That you are in a place working because you have a career. You are not in your career because you have a job. So you see, these are the things that people must be intentional about. So go out now after this show. Go and start checking from your workplace. And by your workplace, I don't even mean just Ekwa Television. Where we work is a conglomerate of a lot of things. Check other places. There are people that don't have plans. There are people that anytime you walk out of your door, you are sure you will see them outside, gisting with friends and all that. They don't have a plan. And these are not the people you want to be close to. They are people you want to have around so that you can know how to measure unsuccessful people when you are explaining to people. Solo, stop that. You are in church. When you want to measure unsuccessful people, you know. There are people to avoid, Joyce. There are people to once in a while meet. There are people that every day you should meet. There are some people, when they call me, I hesitate in picking their calls. But some, when I see before it starts ringing, I've picked. Are you available this? Yes, I am. Let's meet. When you meet people like that, you hear things that will help you, even if it's the next 1, 2, 3 years. There are people I meet when they say stuff. Yesterday I was with someone. He was talking about how he forced his way into a grant program that government was giving, and he put 60 people, and each person made 1.4 million naira. I was just thinking, I say, if that Nine mana, let me help my people in the village. I'm telling you. But you cannot be exposed to such information if you are not connected to such
Yeah.
people.
You see, there are a lot of things you can do differently. A lot of things you can do differently. And more importantly is your network. It shapes even how you think.
Your
how
network
you see
is
life.
your net worth.
Yeah.
Ah.
So
Yes, your network is your
you
net
have
worth.
to be deliberate about your network. Sometimes I see how people spend hours, days talking about things that are so not going to add up. Like in the next 5, it can only keep you stagnant. So you have to be deliberate about the people you spend time with, people you listen to. There are people that when they talk to you, want to look for your notepad so that you don't miss out. Like you have to go back to what they say. But there are some people that you just need to shut your ears at. If not, they will just keep you stagnated. So 2024 is here. The days are already counting. Some people are already
Today is 5th.
fifth. Some people already say, can we start up this year again? Why? Because
No, they can start it. It's fine. You
Yeah.
can go
Yeah,
back
you
to
can actually
living
start.
from first. As a matter of fact, Utopia is in 2014 or 2014. Yes, that's their year now.
This year
Twice I
something
met
is
somebody
personal.
yesterday. I like bringing references of people. He doesn't do any social media. He doesn't even have a smartphone. Kai, I was tripped. Where we were living. I said, this one that doesn't have a smartphone, who will drop him? And I saw the car he came with. Kai, God. Let me see. He said, I don't believe in all this Instagram, this Facebook, and I don't have time for that. He has a very small phone. He said anything he wants to do, he goes to his laptop. I deal with people on websites. I don't do social media, emails, exchange, and all of that. These are the things I do. That guy was talking about 3.7 billion in terms of his trade. One of them.
there's hope.
Yes, there's hope, Joyce. But you see,
Yeah.
he didn't start yesterday.
Of
No.
course.
I
of
met
course.
him yesterday. But do you know what his life, where it has catapulted me into? 20 years. I am dreaming. And some people will say, you are not suffering, but no, ma, I want to live a good life. I remember somebody say it's not poor people that will welcome Jesus. Yes. He said it's a rich church that will welcome Jesus. But not rich in terms of money, but I want to be all-encompassing. I want that all-encompassing nature of prosperity, good health, money, wealth, everything. Nothing missing, nothing broken. I don't want to be rich and be sick. Or to be sick and have money to take care. No, I don't want any. Thank you for watching
Are
today's live on Equa Television. Joyce, please finish it.
It's actually interesting doing this with all of you. I just wish we can continue, but we have to give
Honestly.
way for Reverend
Should we
Silas
come tomorrow?
to actually continue to be continued on Monday. Thank you so much. 2024 is a great year. Ensure that it is about being a higher and a better expression of who you are. It starts with the decision, ideas, change of mindset, and you will get there. Make effort. When you fold your arms, nothing happen. Until we come your way next time on today's live, you stay blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.